Let me tell y'all something. Dreaming big is not for the weak. See, everybody loves to talk about success. They love to post about it, dream about it, wish for it. But let me ask you something. Are you really ready for what it takes? Because big dreams demand big sacrifices. You want to be great, you want to be successful, you want to change your life? It's going to cost you. That comfort zone you love so much, it's got to go. Those nights out with your friends, gotta let some of them go. That fear of failing, that hesitation, that doubt, you better throw it in the trash, because there is no room for that where you're headed. Big dreams require big sacrifices. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. Everybody loves the idea of success, the idea of having more, doing more, becoming more. But when it comes to the part where they have to give something up, that's where they hesitate. See, most people want success as long as it doesn't inconvenience them. They want to be great, but they still want to be comfortable. They want to live their dream, but they don't want to struggle. And that's not how it works. The reality is, if you're chasing something big, you have to be willing to let go of things that are small. You have to give up habits, mindsets, and even people that don't align with where you're headed. That's the cost. You can't hold on to everything and expect to elevate. You can't keep doing what you've always done and expect a different outcome. There's a price for every level of success, and the bigger the dream, the higher the price. It starts with time. What are you willing to do with your time? Because time is the one thing you can't get back. If you're serious about your dream, you don't have time to waste. You don't have time to scroll mindlessly, to binge watch shows every night, to sleep in when you should be grinding. You don't have time to entertain negativity, distractions, or drama. Every minute you spend on something that isn't pushing you forward is a minute you'll never get back. Then there's effort. Big dreams don't come with small effort. You can't just work when you feel like it. You can't just give half your energy and expect full results. You have to go all in. You have to push yourself beyond what's comfortable. There will be days when you don't feel like working, when you don't feel motivated, when you're tired, discouraged, frustrated. But those are the moments that separate the ones who make it from the ones who don't. Because the ones who make it push through anyway. They keep going when most people quit. And let's talk about comfort. If you want something big, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. You have to be willing to stretch yourself, to do things you've never done before. Growth is uncomfortable. Discipline is uncomfortable. Waking up early, staying up late, working on your craft when others are relaxing. That's uncomfortable. But if you refuse to be uncomfortable, you'll never change. You'll stay right where you are, wishing for something better, but never actually reaching it. You might also have to sacrifice relationships. Not everyone is meant to go with you where you're headed. Some people will doubt you, some will criticize you, some won't understand why you're working so hard, why you're making certain decisions, why you don't have time for the same things anymore. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be willing to walk alone if necessary. Because if you let other people's opinions dictate your path, you'll never get where you want to go. Money is another sacrifice. Investing in yourself, in your dreams, in your growth, that takes money, and sometimes that means saying no to temporary pleasures. That means skipping the latest gadgets, the unnecessary shopping sprees, the things that don't contribute to your future. It means choosing long-term success over short-term gratification. It's about making decisions today that your future self will thank you for. Sacrificing means understanding that there will be tough times. It means accepting that there will be setbacks, failures, and moments when you question everything. There will be times when you want to quit, when you feel like nothing is working, when you wonder if it's all worth it. But that's part of the process. The road to success isn't smooth. It's not easy, it's filled with obstacles, but every sacrifice you make brings you one step closer to where you want to be. The question is, how bad do you want it? Because if you want something bad enough, you'll be willing to do whatever it takes. You'll make the sacrifices. You'll put in the work. You'll embrace the discomfort. You'll keep going no matter what. Because at the end of the day, big dreams don't come easy. They come to those who are willing to give up what's holding them back so they can reach for something greater. Success demands discipline, not just talent. A lot of people think that talent is enough. They believe that if they're naturally gifted at something, then success will just fall into their lap. But that's not how it works. Talent might give you a head start, but it won't keep you in the race. It won't carry you to the finish line. Discipline is what separates those who have potential from those who actually make something of themselves. The world is full of talented people who never reach their full potential because they lack discipline. They had the ability, but they weren't willing to put in the work. They let distractions get in the way. They let their emotions dictate their actions. They showed up only when they felt like it, and that's why they never made it. Because success doesn't care how talented you are. Discipline is waking up early when you'd rather sleep in. It's putting in the work even when you don't feel like it. It's sticking to your plan even when the results aren't showing yet. It's doing what needs to be done even on the days when you have every excuse not to. Talent might get you noticed, but discipline is what keeps you growing. People who rely only on talent tend to plateau. They get comfortable because they assume they don't need to push themselves. They assume that what they have is enough. But the ones who have discipline, they keep improving. They keep sharpening their skills, learning, adjusting, putting in the effort, no matter how good they already are. That's why disciplined people always surpass talented people who refuse to work. The difference between someone who succeeds and someone who doesn't isn't always about skill. It's about who is willing to do the work every single day, no matter what. It's about who is willing to sacrifice comfort, who is willing to push through when things get tough. Because talent doesn't teach you resilience. Talent doesn't teach you patience. Talent doesn't build character. But discipline does. Discipline means doing the things you don't want to do. It means sticking to your schedule even when distractions come up. It means choosing long-term success over short-term gratification. It means saying no to things that don't align with your goals even when they're tempting. It's easy to be disciplined when things are going well, when motivation is high. But real discipline is built in the moments when you don't feel like showing up, when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when nobody is watching. That's where success is truly earned. It's in the hours nobody sees. It's in the sacrifices nobody talks about. It's in the discipline to keep going when you don't feel like it. The problem is, most people want results without putting in consistent effort. They want success without struggle. They want to be great without committing to the process. And that's why they never get there. The ones who win in life aren't always the most talented. They're the ones who show up day after day, even when the excitement is gone. They're the ones who stay focused, who don't make excuses, who don't wait for the perfect moment. They understand that discipline is what turns dreams into reality. They don't just rely on how they feel, they rely on their habits, their mindset, their commitment. The truth is, talent can open doors, but discipline keeps them open. You might be the best in the room today, but if you don't have discipline, someone who works harder than you will take your place. Because talent without discipline fades. Hard work, consistency, and commitment will always outlast raw ability. The question isn't how talented you are, it's how disciplined you're willing to be. Your comfort zone is the enemy of growth. It feels good to stay where things are familiar, where everything is predictable, where nothing challenges you. That's why so many people get stuck. They settle into routines, they get used to their surroundings, and they tell themselves that they're fine where they are. But deep down, they know they were made for more. They know they have bigger dreams, bigger goals, bigger potential. The problem is, stepping out of that comfort zone means stepping into uncertainty. And that's where most people stop. Growth doesn't happen where you're comfortable. It happens when you push yourself beyond what you already know. It happens when you take risks, when you do things that scare you, when you challenge yourself in ways that force you to learn and adapt. Comfort keeps you still, but growth requires movement. You can't expect to reach new levels if you refuse to leave the place you've outgrown. The people who achieve great things in life are the ones who embrace discomfort. They understand that feeling uncomfortable is part of the process. They know that in order to grow, they have to do things they've never done before. That might mean waking up earlier, putting in extra hours, learning a new skill, or letting go of old habits. It might mean walking away from people who don't support their vision, stepping into a new environment, or facing challenges that seem impossible at first. But they do it anyway, because they know that everything they want is on the other side of their comfort zone. Most people want growth, but they don't want to go through what it takes to grow. They want success, but they don't want to deal with struggle. They want to evolve, but they don't want to experience discomfort. That's why so many people never change. They stay in the same place year after year, making excuses, waiting for the right time, avoiding anything that feels too hard. But there is no growth without challenge. There is no improvement without struggle. You don't get stronger without resistance. You don't get wiser without mistakes. And you don't move forward without stepping into the unknown. Think about a muscle. If you never put it under stress, it never grows. If you never lift heavier weights, your strength stays the same. The same applies to your mindset, your skills, and your life. If you don't push yourself beyond what's easy, you'll never develop the strength to handle bigger opportunities. If you don't allow yourself to fail, you'll never learn what it takes to succeed. Growth isn't supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to stretch you, to challenge you, to shape you into the person you need to become. Your comfort zone will always try to pull you back in. It will give you reasons to stay where you are. It will tell you that you're fine, that you don't need to push yourself, that you can always try later. But that's a trap. Later turns into never. The longer you stay in your comfort zone, the harder it becomes to break out of it. The more you avoid discomfort, the more you settle for a life that is less than what you're capable of living. Every successful person has had to break through their comfort zone. They've had to take risks, make sacrifices, and go through uncertainty. They've had to deal with fear, doubt, and struggle, but they kept moving forward, and because of that, they grew into something greater. They didn't let the fear of the unknown stop them. They didn't let temporary discomfort keep them from permanent success. They understood that growth is a choice, and that choice means leaving behind the things that no longer serve you. If you never step outside of what's familiar, you'll never discover what's possible.